What's up, everybody? This is Candle Patterns for the Legally Blinded. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because even though a lot of you guys have the candle pattern sheets that I gave you, you don't necessarily understand, what the hell these candle patterns look like while the market's forming. And the reason for that is probably because you probably have a bunch of indicators all over your screen and can't follow directions, or you must be legally blind because I don't understand how anybody could not identify these patterns, especially when all the shapes are on these little sheets that I give you, like straight up. I don't know how you guys can't see these little things. But anyways, um, I'm making this video because I'm actually gonna show you guys a little method that actually helped my mom understand how to identify candle patterns. She has not been trading for long at all. She's probably been trying to go hard at this for the past two, maybe 3 weeks tops. And literally, she was having trouble. She was down herself. She's like, "Oh, I can't do this. I'm just so stressed. I got bills to pay. All them, my job. This and that." But at the end of the day, after breaking, come up with this little method and breaking down the market for her, and even showing her my little pin post method that you guys have all seen, um, we came up with this little trick to help her identify candle patterns, and it's been working highly well for her. And she actually went, 9 wins out of 12 trades Thursday evening. So she only lost 3 times out of 12 trades. And the only reason why she lost is because she chose the wrong expiry. But the thing is, I didn't even help her trade that night. She traded by herself, and she knew exactly why she won. And that's because she traded candle patterns as well as my method that I've been sharing with you guys. All right. So I'm about to show you this little trick, and I know it's gonna help you guys out. If you guys are still struggling after this video, then straight up you need Jesus, bro. And I ain't talking about my gardener, man. Like for real, you need Jesus because if you honestly can't, see how the market really moves after this video, then I don't know what to tell you. Like straight up. And it's not like you gotta keep, paying people to join their groups and find indicators and new methods to help you make money. The money is here, bro. Like it really is. There's lots of ways that people, lots of different ways that people trade, and there's lots of ways, to make money in the trading markets. But at the end of the day, man, you have a solid method that works, and there's no reason why new people that come in the group, like Sharika and Michael Richardson and even Brittany Anderson and other people that keep posting the results. There's no reason why they can be getting great ass results, but some of you guys are still struggling, doing horrible when you all have access to the same material. So I understand, everybody learns differently, but straight up, I'm gonna make this as simple as I possibly can. And all I want you guys to do is practice this. Even when the market opens tomorrow afternoon, just practice this. You don't even have to take trades, but just practice this and see for yourself, man. And like I always say, if you do want to take trades, then just demo until you understand what the hell you're looking at. But this will seriously help you guys memorize candle patterns, and you should all, I mean all, be getting results if you really follow this stuff. It's not hard, man. The only reason why anybody would be struggling is if they're not following the method, or they're just stubborn and not taking the time to really learn how the market works. Also, though every candle pattern is legit, everything, all the candle patterns will show up on every single asset every time frame. Though they are legit, just keep in mind that if you're getting better results trading certain patterns, then maybe that's what you should be looking for. I trade patterns in general. I'm also more of a reckless trader than some of you guys. And like I always say, man, there's some traders in this group that are probably better than me because they get such great consistency. But at the end of the day, the only reason why I make more money than a lot of you guys is because I take bigger trades. So once you guys grow some herring in us and start taking bigger trades and start being more consistent, you'll have more money too. But for all the people who are trying to teach folks in my group, a bunch of stuff that I don't even tell them about, like, oh, don't trade this because bank holiday, or all news, or always trading and blah blah, and it's trending and blah blah and all this extra shit, man. Bro, like I have no problem with anybody, but if you're not even getting results, then why are you trying to teach other people? If you're on demo, then how are you trying to teach, live traders how to trade? If you're not making money, how are you gonna teach other people how to make money? And if you're losing by not following my strategy, then how are you going to teach people who are winning following my strategy how to trade? So, I hope this video helps somebody. Let this be a lesson for all you guys, man. There's no difference between any of us in this group. If you are losing, you probably do not understand the method, or you're trading the method wrong, or you're just not asking questions and studying to become better. All right. But anyways, enough of the blame game, right? I'm gonna show you how I identify, patterns and take my own trades, and how this little method will work for you guys as well. And the market is closed, but it's the same formula over and over again. Just remember, 3 candle setups, 1, 2, 3. All right, first and third. But you will always just be like 1, 2, 3. That's all it is. All right, and it's that simple. All right. Now, we all know about replication in the market. All right, there's 2 types of replication. Oh yeah, by the way, this video will be a complement to what you guys learned in the pin post. Focus on these 2 videos, and you will not have to watch all those extra hours of video footage in the beginning ones. All right, these 2 videos alone will change your life, guaranteed. All right. Anyways, we all know about replication. You got the normal replication and the candle pattern replication. All I want you guys to focus on is candle pattern replication. All right. Anytime you see like a pattern that is going the way that you want it to, that's good. But anytime that pattern pulls back, like on this, you see a setup like this, you want it to go down. All right, cool. Anytime you see a candle, like your candle retracing and going in the opposite direction, all that means is on one of these shorter time frames, you have another candle pattern going the opposite way. So this little wick right here, that was a pattern going up. That's all that shit is. You feel me, right? Now, if you see patterns, your candle is gonna end somewhere in between the 2 patterns. All right, unless you get raped and it goes even higher. But more like 9 times out of 10, it ends somewhere in between both patterns on that time frame. All right, but on one of these time frames, if you don't see a pattern and you just see normal replication, right? Now you know exactly where the hell it's gonna pull back at. All right. Now, I'm not going to really get into that much, but just keep that in mind if you're ever trying to analyze the market and you see candles going the opposite way. All right. But anyways, so how do I figure out candle pattern replication? All right. Well, remember, we always take our 3rd candle, which will always be the one that is currently forming, and we'll use this as an example because this is our last candle. All right. So our third candle will always be the one that is currently forming throughout the time frame now we're looking at. All right. So we want to make sure that our 3rd candle will match the size of the 1st candle. All right. So you're gonna put a reference point right here. All right. I'll explain why in a second. But remember, these are reversal patterns. So if you've seen that the market was in a downtrend, then you see that setup, you're like, oh snap, this might actually be where the market reverses. And then you see this candle coming up, it matches the size of your previous candle, right? The 1st candle. So you're thinking, oh shit, the market can go up. Oh yeah. Right. So once it hits this line, this is considered replication. So no matter where this candle pulls back to, you will always take calls until that candle closes. All right. Now, where do you take your calls? Your reference points will always be based on your 2nd candle. All right. Your 2nd candle and your 1st are like the setup candles. All right. But your reference points will always be based on the 2nd candle. All right. Now, I want you guys to use your head for a second. All right. This right here, this is obviously a candle pattern, but your first 2 candles like the setup, and you think, damn, this might be a candle pattern. If it is, it's probably going to go up. If you expect this candle to go up, right, then that means you would expect this candle to be blue, right, or green, whatever, because I like green and red candles, but this is blue and red right now. But anyways, you expect this candle to end blue if it was going up, right? So what that means is, why the hell, if this candle is already blue and you expect it to be blue, why would you take a trade somewhere up in here, right? When strike rate means everything. Yes, it might, you expect it to be blue, but it might end blue somewhere over here. You feel me? It might end blue somewhere over here. For all you know, it could be a doji, but it could still be blue. Why not take the smarter strike rate, right? Why not even worry about strike rates? And why not just enter on your trade at the actual doji? These candles pull back so much. If you're just patient enough, you could wait. Once that thing replicates, you can wait for that thing to pull all the way back down to a doji and then just take a call. That way, when it ends blue, guess what? More likely you're gonna win your trade. All right. So if the candle opened right here, that means you don't want to enter your trade anything after that, right? Anything before it, and here's a visual. Here's another line, right? Anything before this red line right here, where the candle open at, anything before that, yes, you can take a call, right? But anything after that, don't take a call. Because if this thing ends as a doji, you're going to lose money. We're taking smart trades here. We're not guessing on sizes anymore. If you want to guess, then that's on you, bruh. But at the end of the day, I didn't make, $81,000 in 12 days off of guessing. And I don't say that shit to brag or nothing, but it's like, bruh, like you got niggas in my group trying to teach y'all how to win when they're on demo. Fucking make some live money first, nigga. Like, I'm not trying to put down anybody, but it's like this is like what I'm showing you guys. This is all I fucking did. And if I could do it, so can y'all, man. But anyways, so you have your doji, right? You take a call to doji, fucking that's one reference point, right? If your second reference point would be right here, the bottom of your little candle body on the second candle, right? You would take another call if you want, right? And that's if the market comes down that far. This example, it didn't, but if it did, you'll take another call, right? And then right here, if it touches your bottom wick on your second candle, right, you take another call, right? I'll show you examples on what that looks like on a candle that actually meets those guidelines. But this one, you would have straight up won the doji, right? Now, why do we do only these reference points? Why didn't I mark the wick on this, Asher? Well, the thing is, if I would have marked the wick on that, look, if I would have marked the wick on this, that would have already been blue. That's a reckless ass trade because my blue candle could end anywhere within that gap. Why the fuck am I gonna put my money at risk? That's why I have the doji marked, because at least at the doji, this candle's neutral. And if it ends blue, I'm gonna win my trade. I don't want to worry about sizes. I don't want to guess on my positions anymore. That is why I take doji and then opposite reference points. If my candle is blue and I expect it to be blue, then I want to take red reference points, i.e. bottom of candle body and right here, calls. All right. So that's one example. Now, Hasher, if my candle started right here, let's delete these lines to give y'all some visuals. Now, Asher, if my third candle started right here and it came right here, then how did it replicate the first candle body? There's still all this space down here that hasn't even been replicated. So how did I replicate the body? Well, I want you to think of it like this, man. On candle patterns, the setups are usually 3 candles. Sometimes you got 4 candle setups. Sometimes you have 5. All right. But typically it's 3 candle setups, right? Now, on the setups, what I want you to do is I want you to add, like, just think of it like this. You like the continuation candles or whatnot. Imagine it's like building blocks, and you put those, like, you glue both of those blocks together. All right. And when you glue them together, when they match the size of your first candle, it's like a normal replication. So rather than rambling, let me give you an idea. Like this right here. You see this red candle came down, and you see this blue candle came up, right? These two would have matched in size right here. These two would have been the exact same size within that gap, correct? So what I want you to think of is, you see this blue block right here? Imagine this blue block was these 2 candles right here, but it's just broken apart. Now imagine if you put this block and added it to that block, what would it look like? Holy shit. They would have matched in size if they were connected in this gap. Look at this candle pattern right here. You see this blue block, and then you got the red, and then the red. Imagine if these two were connected to each other. Holy shit, they would have matched in size within the gap. You feel me? So on these little candle patterns, right, just imagine like these two right here. These right here, these 2 candles, 2 and 3 added together would match the size of 1. This blue block, these 2 red candles, 2 and 3 would have matched the size of 1. This right here, right, this is a candle pattern as well. Let's put the reference points. Now look at this setup. Let's delete those lines. Look at this. 1 and 2 would have matched the size of 3 in this gap. You feel me? So pretty much for these examples right here, let's do this one too. Right here. Blue block 1 and 2. So V2 and 3 would match the size of 1 in this gap. So on candle patterns, it's like I'm adding 2 candles together to match the size of one of the candles within that gap. You feel me? And once it does that, I consider a replication. So that's just one way to understand candle patterns. It's the same shit as normal, but candle patterns just like broken up candles. And when you add those candles together, it replicates. So that's like one visual way to see it. Like right here too. So this is my 1 candle. And you got 2 and 3. You see how the wick came up, touched my line? That would have been a full replication, right? I'm like, oh shit, it might be candle pattern. Holy fuck, I might want to take calls, right? So since I expect it to be a blue, if it is legitimate candle pattern, I'll enter at the doji. Where's the doji? Well, the doji is where your candle starts. You feel me? That way, if it goes neutral, even turns red, I'm taking a call. All of a sudden, when it turns blue, I'm gonna win my trade. You feel me? Right here. Yeah, sorry. So 1, 2. All of a sudden, this comes down, touch my red line. It replicates. These two, 1 and 2, would have been the same size as 3 in this thing. So now I expect this to be a put candle pattern. If it comes up, nigga, I'm taking puts. And if it would have can't even turn blue for a second, we'll look at my reference point up here, right? So my red candle matched that in size, right? I'm looking at puts on this setup. If it comes to the doji, taking a put, right? Turns red, I win my trade. If it comes up here, touch my top reference point, I'm taking a put. I'll win my trade. You feel me? Like, I'm just trying to be smart. The candle patterns tell me what color to anticipate. So I'm trying to trade the color. I don't want to worry about strike rates. I'm trading the color, bro. That's all I'm doing. All right. So for the 1-3 setups, in order to identify candle patterns, yes, candle patterns for me are easy to identify because that's all I focus on. For you guys, what I want you to do is whatever candle you're looking at, which whatever candle is currently forming, that will always be your 3. All right. What I want you to do is, matter of fact, we'll go up here because there's another candle pattern. Imagine this blue candle right here is your 3. All right. What I want you to do is, I want you to always see if your 3 will match the size of 2 candles in front of it. So this is my 3, right? I go 1, 2, right? I wanted to see if it replicates the size of 2 candles in front of it. If it does, what I want you to do is I want you to come to your sheets, all right? And I want you to see if you can find those shapes, right? The one that you just saw, it came up, this would have been a blue body right here. I'd be like, oh shit, does that look like a pattern? I want you to go to your actual pattern sheets and see if you could identify what the fuck that even looks like. This right here to me looks like it could be a ladder bottom. If I come here, oh shit, it looks like a fucking ladder bottom, right? Look at that shit. Little block with the line on it and stuff. The red in front, and then it was the downtrend count on the front. I got my block with the wick, and then I got the uptrend. What was this right here? Holy shit. I got my red block with my little second candle, the middle block with the line. And then this right here, right? The big block going up. I'm like, oh shit, this might be a candle pattern. Nigga, I'm taking calls. If it looks like a candle pattern, take the damn thing. What I mean by look like, I'm not talking about, don't worry about what the wicks look like on one, right? Don't worry about that shit. Don't worry about what the wicks look like, man. Worry about the candle bodies. The wicks just tell you more likely where the candle has can likely move. You feel me? The shapes are all I worry about on the bodies. All right. So even though I see this long ass wick on one, I don't give a fuck because I'm like, well, hell, man, I'm wondering what two's gonna look like, right? I see 2 moving out through all that hour. It's a little block. You feel me? It has a wick on. I'm like, oh snap, this might be a candle pattern, right? Based on the setup, right? So then, as I'm watching my new candle, I'm just trying to see, well, here, what the hell is this new candle gonna do, right? And if I see it going up and it replicates the size of my one candle, I'm like, oh shit, this might be legit. So what I'm doing is I'm waiting for pullbacks, and if it pulls back to my doji, I'm gonna take a call. You feel me? When it came down here, all the way down here, I had no more reference points. I got a baby wick right there, which you probably can't see. So anything past my doji, that would have been a reckless trade. I wouldn't have known what to do right there. You feel me? But the thing is, if I think it's a candle pattern, I expect this to end blue. So what I'm gonna do is, if it goes to the doji or even down, I'm gonna take at least one call on this. You feel me? As you see, it ends blue. I would have won my trade, right? Now, something I don't necessarily recommend this for y'all. I try to win my trades, but anytime I see a candle continue going the opposite direction and I no longer have reference points, I'll just take the next reference point that I see on a completely random different candle. So if I would have seen like this line or even that line or even like this line, you know, all the way down here, and I saw my red candle heading towards it, I probably would have took one more call just trying to save my doji. But that doesn't necessarily always work in your favor. So I try to stay, you know, to my reference points. But that's just a little trick that I do, right? So just keep in mind, whatever candle is currently forming, just see if it replicates two candles in front of it. And if it does, consider that shit as a pattern, right? And what I want you to do is look at your sheets and see if it looks like any of those shapes on your patterns. If you can do that, then eventually you'll get familiar with the shapes of your candle patterns on the market, right? And that's really that simple as far as like the 1, 2, 3 setups, right? So let's look at for some more and stuff like that. So I see some good setups here. Yeah, I see some good shit. So let's give you guys some more examples, all right? So let's see, like right here, for example, this is a really good setup, all right? So imagine right here, this is my 1 candle, my 2 candle, and my 3 candle right here, right? Now, the idea for this is, you know that if this is your 3 candle, you would want it to go up and replicate the size of your number 1. If it's a candle pattern, that's what you would want, right? So you have your reference point right here. You got 1, 2, and then you want this candle to touch that line. If it does, now you consider this a candle pattern, all right? Going up. So what you want to do is, how do you trade this? Well, for one, you take your reference points are always based on the second candle. So you have a line right here where your third candle started, right? You would take a call because you expect it to end blue, all right? Then your second reference point would be here because that's the body of your second candle, right? So when it touches this line, you take another call, right? Because you expect it to end blue, all right? So then when it comes to your bottom wick, if it touches that line, you take one more call because that's your last reference point. Reason being, you expect it to end blue because of the quote unquote legitimate candle pattern, right? Your doji would have lost, but your second reference point, which is the bottom of your candle body, and your second reference point would have won. Third reference point never got touched. But if you would have took a bigger trade on this reference point, you would have covered your losses on your doji. All right. That's why these reference points are so important. The reason why they're important is because your candles normally stay within those ranges. Why does that? Hell if I know, but that's just something I noticed. Like, as far as the market goes, anytime it goes outside of those ranges, like this big ass blue candle right here, it's just filling the candle pattern on something bigger, like a bigger time frame. That's all it's doing. Let's see if I can show you an example on this. See if I can find some like this. That was a fucking candle pattern right here. The 1, 2 replication. What else is it? Right here. The 1, 2 replication. And then that's just normal replication right here. Those 2 little blocks. But whenever you see candles going outside of your ranges, it's just filling in a pattern on different time frames. That's all it is, man. But it's still the same concept on all your shit. So it's never something to be worried about. If you want to save your trade, then just mark the reference point on a bigger time frame. That's all it is, really. So that's what I do. But anyways, so that's just one way to win that trade, right? Trade your reference points. It usually stays in the ranges, and you can always recover losses, especially if you even do bigger trade. So more examples, right? Let's see. Just keep in mind, if your third candle never replicates the 1, you just don't take that trade. And that's why you have the visuals of your reference points. Like this one touched the line right here, right? So I'm taking calls. Where would I take my calls? Doji, where my candle opens. So right here, and then this wick down here. It never touched that wick. If I take a doji, then I win my trade. Let's see. So those aren't patterns. That's not a pattern either. So right here, this is a good example. All right. So you got your first candle, second candle, third candle. So if some of you guys saw this candle coming down or whatnot, you might think, oh shit, it's gonna be a legitimate candle pattern. I'm gonna take a point. But the thing is, me, I wouldn't take this trade. And the reason why I wouldn't take this trade is because my third candle never matched the size of my first candle. You see where this wick ended? Right here. You see I didn't touch my line? If my third candle never replicates the size of my first candle, I don't take the trade. It must always replicate the size first before I focus on my reference points. Once it touches that line, then I'll consider finally taking trades. And how do I do that? Well, I go where the candle starts. So for one, that would be a doji, right? Because that's where my blue candle started, right? And then if it kept going up, my reference point would have been right here. And that's where I would have took my puts. Because my reference points will always be the doji of where my third candle even opened at. And then it'll be the opposite reference points on my second candle. And that's how I take my trades. All right. But this isn't a candle pattern because it never touched my line. So remember, third candle must always replicate the first before you even consider taking trades. If it doesn't, you don't take the trades, man. That's simple. All right. Here's another good example. Look at this. You see how close it was to my line? Because it did not touch my line, I'm not looking at that trade. It must touch my line in order for me to look at the trade, right? It looks like a solid candle pattern too, but the thing is, if it don't touch my line, I'm not taking the trade. I'm only meeting my guidelines in order to consider positions because sometimes if it doesn't replicate 100%, right, you might think, well, this is still a good time to take a judgment call, but then this thing might completely flip and you could lose your trade. I've had better accuracy sticking to my guidelines and letting the things replicate first before hopping in. So that's why that's what I stick to. Let's look for more examples. This is good right here. So it's right here. So 1, 2, 3. You see how my 3 came all the way down and touched my bottom reference point, right? So now I'm considering this a legitimate put pattern. So what do I want to do? I'll wait all the way till it comes back to the doji. And where's the doji? Doji is always where your third candle opens, which is right here, right? I take a put. If it comes up here and hits my second reference point, which is the top of my second candle body, right? Then I take a put again. And if it comes all the way up to the wick of my second candle body, then I take another put. Why these spots? I expect puts on this. I expect red candles. So I enter my reference points and take puts. That's how I win my trade. Doji would have won. Second reference point would have won. You feel me? There's a lot of people that have been posting pictures on the group page that have had winning setups, but they just didn't trade the strategy properly. Your reference points will always be based on both wicks of your second candle and the open and close of your second candle body. Once you know the color, like once you figure out the color that you expect your third candle to be, just mark your opposite reference points, and then you'll trade in the direction of the pattern. Since I expect this to be a red candle, I'm only entering puts at my doji, my second candle body, the top of my candle body, or the top of my wick, because I expect the market to go down. If I thought this candle was going to be blue, then how would I trade it? I would have my fucking wick. Matter of fact, let me just show you a call candle pattern. That way you gain the concept. This is a put candle pattern. So I'm looking for entry points to take my puts. And my entry points are based on my second candle reference points. That's why I'll take puts at those 3 spots. Wick, body, body, right? This is a call candle pattern setup. So how would I trade this, right? I see that my third candle touched my red line. So replicate it. So I'm looking for entry points to take this. So how would I do this? Away from my doji, that's where the candle opened at, right? So I'll take a call right there. And this is my wick on my second candle. So I would take a call right there. Why? Because I expect this candle to be blue. You feel me? So I have my opposite reference points marked because I expect this candle to be blue, and that's how I enter my trades. I expect this candle in red, so I have my opposite reference points marked. And that's how I take my puts. Same thing right here. All right. So how would this look? Well, I see that my third candle touched my red line. So I expect this to be a candle pattern. I expect this candle to end blue. So how'd I take this trade? With doji, where my third candle opened at, I expect it to be blue. So I take a call. If it comes down, it's my second reference point. Why? This is the body, the bottom of the body of the second candle. So if it came down here, I would take a call again, right? And if it kept going down, it came all the way to my bottom reference point, which is the wick of my second candle, then I take one more call. As you see, the doji won. You feel me? But I only have my opposite reference points marked because I expect this thing to go blue. So those are when I take my calls. These right here when I take my calls. Those right there when I take my puts. Let's give you guys some more examples. This is really simple stuff, man. Really simple stuff. Let's change the time frame. You can do this on any time frame, all right? The only time news will ever fuck you up on these is if you aren't looking at these bigger time frames, because news just fills in the patterns on a bigger time frame, right? News will fuck you up on a short time frame if you're trying to do this reference point stuff. So if you want to have less fake outs, just check your Forex Factory to see when the news is. And if news ain't scheduled anytime soon, then you can trade short-term time frames like hour and less without any problems. like for real. Let's change time frames. Let's see what's up. So let's see. This is a candle pattern. That's a candle pattern. This is a candle pattern, but it went outside the guidelines. So it'll probably be somewhere. But let's mark that, all right? Let's go over this example because some of you guys will see some shit like this and get all scared. All right. So we'll do that one too because I went outside the guidelines too. So this is the candle pattern for a put. Why is that? Well, we have this right here, right? Got my first candle, second, third candle, right? I see that my third candle touched my red line. So how would I trade this, right? I want to do puts because this looks like a candle pattern to me. So it comes up. So what I want to do is I'll mark my first reference point where my third had opened, right? Hence the doji. Can I get this straight? Damn it. All right, that's good enough. All right, anyways, this is where my third candle opens. So what am I doing? I'm taking a put right here, right? So that's one reference point. Then I have the body of my second candle, right? There's the top of the body, right? So as you see, the market came up here, touched my line. I'm taking another put. You feel me? So I always trade in the direction of the pattern. As the market barely came down, I would have won my top reference point and my doji. Barely done the doji, but I would have won both trades. You feel me? So I'm always trading in the direction of the pattern, all right? Now, 1, 2, 3. Let's look at this one, right? So here's my top reference point. I want this to come up here and touch this. Once I see that, oh shit, legitimate candle pattern, right? So I'm only taking calls on this, right? So how do I take my calls? I take a call at where my third candle started, like where it started at, right? So my doji, as you can see, this thing ended red, so I would lose. My second reference point would be right here, right? The bottom of the wick. So I take one more call. This would lose. As I see this candle still going hella far out, I'm thinking in my head, oh shit, I'm getting fucked on this trade. What the hell is going on, right? There's a reason why I'm losing this trade. So as my time frame is going, I have two options. I could either take my losses, sell my trades depending on my platform, or I can try to do one recovery trade. But if I do that, I need to check a higher time frame to see what the hell is going on in order to save this shit before I ended up losing my money, right? So let's mark this and see if we can find another pattern on a different time frame, all right? So let's see what's going on. As a matter of fact, we'll mark this. That way we know where the hell it went, all right? So If I check my time frames, as you can see right here, you had up, cross, and this thing. It was a candle pattern going down. So we got asked out on that. What else could it be? Looks like it also could be a 3 white soldiers. And then on my 4-hour candle, look, it's another candle pattern. Same thing going down, right? Now, when did my 20-minute candle actually end? Hell if I know, because I don't know what time of the day this actually was. It says 9 o'clock, but this shit always throws me out. I don't necessarily know what that is. But on this 20 though, right here though, as you can see, it went hella down. But it was filling out the space on another candle pattern on a higher time frame. That's why sometimes if you ever see your ass getting kicked on this shit right here, just check a higher time frame to see what the hell's going on. And that'll explain your losses. But you can do that. Sometimes if you're not quick enough with the reference points too, you just gotta take your losses and get fucked on that trade. But on a trade like this, I would have took my doji and my reference point right here, and I would have got my ass kicked on that though. Anytime you're getting your ass kicked, just switch the time frame to see if you could identify. And if you can, fucking save your trade. And if you can't, just accept it and move on to the next setup. Same thing with right here. All right. So let's take that off real quick. Where was I? So that was that one, and then here's another one, right? So this one right here, this is a good trade, but then this one's a bad one. Let me show you the good one. So this is first candle, second candle, third candle. All right, as you can see, my blue wick touched my top line. Replicate. I'm thinking, oh shit, this might be a breakaway candle, right? So I'm only taking calls on this. Where do I take my calls? Where my candle first opened. All right. So right here at the doji, I take a call. It ain't the blue. I would have won that trade, right? But if it keeps coming down, comes all the way down here, I take another call. I never touched that. My doji would have won. Now, anytime, and this is technically gambling. All right. Sometimes I'll do this shit. Most of the time I'll stick to my guidelines. This will be technically gambling though. But anytime you might be losing a trade, your candle, whatever time frame you're looking at, is almost about to close, right? But you're losing your position. You don't want to lose money. You want to try and save it. Anytime your candle is somewhere within the gap of your reference points, you can take a judgment call. Like if you saw this shit was down here and you're thinking, fuck, man, I don't want to lose that, that $100 that I put down a trade. You can try and save it by taking another position because you think it's gonna be blue. But more likely, if you just stick to the guidelines, you'll be straight, man. But sometimes I'll take those judgment calls. And if it ever does touch my reference point, then I'll take another trade. But that's just me, though. Stick to the guidelines and you'll be straight 9 times out of 10, all right? But that was a good little trade, so you would have won that. But then you have this setup right here, all right? So imagine this would be your 1, this your 2, and then this your 3 candle, all right? As you can see, the wick touched my top line. I'm thinking, oh, shit, I'm only taking calls on this one. All right, only calls. All right, so where I take my call? Where my third candle open. I take a call to doji, that shit would have lost. Then it comes down to my second reference point. Hits that shit, I'm thinking in my head, all right, I'll take one more call. All right, as you can see, that shit lost as well, right? So now I see this candle come all the way down here, right? I'm like, oh shit, time frame hasn't closed yet. I have 2 options now. I could either try and save my shit by looking at some previous history and trying to figure some shit out to make another call, or what I can do is I can just accept my losses and move on. In this case scenario, I would probably look at one of these wicks to figure out a spot to where I could actually take another call and try to win my my positions. As you see, if you would have saw a wick right there and took a call, you would have pulled back would have saved you. You would have won. It never came down here, but it's whatever. But it's just like looking at previous history, you can pretty much figure out some shit. All right, but that's just regular. If it goes out of my guidelines, this is something I will do. But let's see if we can find another candle pattern on a higher time frame to figure out why the hell this dropped so much. All right, so we're gonna mark this, and then we'll mark the vertical and see if we can identify anything on this. Right, so I'll switch my time frames. Matter of fact, number 1, I gotta delete that line and mark the wick so we can see exactly why it touched that spot. There we go. Let's see if we can find some shit. So It was a normal replication. Oh, no, not right there. Let's see. This is a little candle pattern. Came all the way down. It never matched at 100% though. Candle patterns and shit. What's that right there? Fuck, I can't tell. Which one is that? So that's the weak. All right, so let me delete these and see why the hell touch the spot. So I'll delete the first one and go weak. And then zoom in. It was close, but it wasn't specifics, but it was close to this thing right here. But this thing ended up doing normal replication. So pretty much what I'm trying to show you guys is it's always something, man. There's always a reference point that you could follow, but there's always a reason for all those movements. That's all. And most of the candles always stay within the guidelines. Like even this shit, it's normal replication, but it just matched the body of its previous candle. But you just gotta figure anytime it goes out of your guidelines on one time frame, just switch the time frame and see which guidelines it's actually staying within. And then that's how you would trade that necessarily. But sometimes you just gotta accept your losses. But it always stays within those ranges, all right? So that's on the 20. But let's find some more examples on candle patterns and shit. So let's see. And this is our 20 still, all right? 20-minute candle. Dun, 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 dun. As you can see, first candle, third candle, replicated right here. Let's see. This one right here, this is a good example on how you guys would win, all right? This is a really good trade. So this one right here, right? So it's my 1, 2, and then 3, right? So as you can see, my wick touched my bottom reference point. So I'm thinking, oh shit, this might be a put candle pattern, all right? So how would I take this trade, right? I'm only taking puts on this. How would I take it? I would come here where my third candle opened, right? So I'm taking a put, right? So that's one reference point, right? Then my next one, I take my reference point on the top of the wick, my second candle, right? Which is right here, right? So as you can see, I'll take another put right here, right? All of a sudden it keeps going up. I'm like, oh shit, this might lose. You feel me? I might take a judgment call and take another put, or I might just leave it alone. But anyways, though, as you can see, the doji on this setup would have lost. My second reference point would have barely won. You feel me? The candles try to stay within those ranges. So it's like if you just trade those reference points and stay with those ranges, you're gonna be straight majority of the time. If you take judgment calls, I mean that's on you. But that's what I focus on and stuff like that. And I would have been straight. This one right here, this would be my first candle. This one right here, match it in size. I'm only taking puts. How would I take that? My third candle open right here. So that's my doji. Second candle, second reference point would have been up here at the wick. If it would have came all the way up, I would have took another one. It never did, but my doji won though. So these are just ranges that you can play in and shit like that, right? Let's see what else we got. By the way, this is just one asset, UJ, all right? It's one asset. But just know that if my third candle never replicates my first candle, I'm not looking at setups. This right here, I see a big ass candle going up. It's blue. I'm thinking, oh shit, this might be a reference point. But the thing is, if it never matches the size of the first, like right here, I ain't looking at it. Because I don't want, like, this is just something I do, but I don't want to guess on my trades. And I have pretty good accuracy when I let my third replicate my first. That is something that I do. Let's change time frame up. Let's see what's up. So these are just 3-hour candles. Same concept, just bigger candles. But as you can see, everything stays within the ranges. So reason why you also trade dojis, look at this, right? You would have seen this big ass thing come all the way down. Look at this setup actually. Right here. First candle, second, third. You would have seen this big ass candle come all the way down. You're thinking in your head, oh shit, it replicated. So I'm looking at only puts. Where do you take your put? Where the candle starts. All right. So just right here. right? So you would take a put. Now on this one, it would have been one of three options, all right? You would have either lost, tied, or barely won. Reason being is because it turned blue, as you can see, right? But the spreads on this, since it's such a small candle, it would have been a small ass spread. You would either lost by a few micro pips, won by a few micro pips, or actually tied because that thing is so small. But the reason why if you expect this candle to be red, you wait for the doji for a reason. Because if you saw this setup and thought it was a candle pattern, you would have lost any position that you took outside of the doji. The doji had the best chances of winning on that situation. You see that shit? Even at the doji, you possibly could have lost this shit. Barely though. So it's like that's why I trade at the doji, because that has the best chances of winning. And then if it came up, I would have traded reference point and reference point in the put. But that is how I trade though. That's how a nigga made his money and shit like that. I let first and third replicate. If it replicates, I'm trading it. First and third replicate. If it replicates, I'm trading it. This looks like a candle pattern, but my third didn't replicate my first. I'm not trading it. First, third, replicate. I'm trading it. First, third, replicate. I'm trading it. This went outside your guidelines right here, right? You would have took calls here and here. It went outside your guidelines. So you would have lost that trade unless you looked at previous history and tried making a judgment call. But the thing I'm trying to say is it went outside of the guidelines. So you would have lost that shit. You feel me? But something that helps for you guys is mark your first and your thirds. See if the shit replicates. Then go to your sheets and see if it looks like a pattern. If it looks like a pattern, yeah, I know I look good. I know. But if it looks like a pattern or whatnot, bro, then simply trade that shit. If it doesn't look like a pattern, then don't trade it. And if you want to be really specific and don't like random losses, because nobody likes losing, then just wait till your candles actually look like that shit. Like look hella close. If it looks like it, more likely it's gonna stick. You feel me? I just focus on the ones and threes. Sometimes I'll take judgment calls, but for the most part, I just look for candle patterns that make sense to me. I trade it within the guidelines, and that's how I trade. This shit works for me. Other people that have been following directions, it works for them too, though. But just think of the ones and threes. Now, how do I know which direction to actually trade in? What I came up with was like I came up with like a little like saying with my mom. I said blue bottom, red top. All right. Now, blue bottom, red top is focused. It's pretty much based on your first candle, all right, and it's pretty much telling you which direction to trade in. Okay, so let's say like blue bottom, red top. What that means is blue candles start on the bottom, right? Like your reference point will always be on the bottom of blue candle bodies. That's because that's where they always start. And your reference point will always be on the top of red candle bodies because that's where they always start. All right. So if your reference point is on the top, is on the top of your red candle for your first candle or whatnot, right? And your third candle matches that, then that means you expect the market to go up. It would be like a call candle pattern. So as you see, my reference point is on the top of a red candle. That's a red top. I expect my third to replicate it at the top. That means I'm taking calls. Top means going up, meaning you're taking calls at your reference points. 1, 2. So red top, third candle replicates, I'm taking calls. Reference points would be 1, 2. Taking calls. Came all the way down and touched that line, took calls, you would have won both trades. Blue bottom, it's because where your reference point is on the first candle, right? So where's the blue bottom? Let's go right here. That's good too. So blue bottom be right here. 1, 2, 3. Reference point came all the way down here. I'm thinking, oh shit. It replicated, and that's blue bottom because they start on the bottom. So replicate. I'm thinking, oh shit, all right. Where do I take my trades? Here. 1, 2. Right? So I would either barely won that trade or tied it. But the thing is, though, it stayed within my range. So my chances of winning are greater. You feel me? And I'm always taking puts because it replicated going down. So I'm taking puts on that setup. Better reference point. A better blue bottom would actually be this right here. So 1, 2, 3, blue bottom right here. Third candle hit my line, right? Replicate. I'm thinking, all right, I'm only taking puts. Where do I take my puts though? I go 1, where my candle opened at, 2, second candle body, and 3, if it comes up right here. If it touched that line, I'm taking puts. But my doji would have won on that. So just remember, based on the 1 and 3 method, your reference points on your 1 candle, it's a blue candle, bottom, blue bottom, right? That means your third should be going down, all right? So you're only taking puts at your reference points, right? And if your first candle is a red top, that means your third candle should be going up, which means you're only taking calls at red reference points. Like, you feel me? It's just always opposite reference points. But just remember, blue bottom, red top. Blue bottom, red top. Blue bottom, red top. First candle, blue bottom. Oh shit, it replicated. And look where my reference points are, right? Red top. Because red candles always start at the top. Right? But if it's a red top right here, blue candles always start at the bottom. You notice how your reference points will always correlate? I have this on the bottom of a blue candle. Right here. Bottom of the blue candle. But I'm marking the red tops. You feel me? So if your first candle is a blue bottom, that means your third candle should be going down towards the bottom. Towards the bottom, the booty. All right? It means you're taking puts at your opposite fucking reference points. All right? If your first candle is a blue bottom, that means your third candle is going towards the bottom, and you take reference points toward. You trade at the reference points going towards the bottom. And if your candle pattern is a red top, right? Then that means your third candle is going towards the top, which means you trade at your reference points here, there, and there, going towards the top, which is a call. Bottom is put, top is call. Bottom is put, top is call. What that look like though, Asher? Top call. Top call. What that look like, Asher? Bottom put. Bottom put. Bottom put. Right here. Red top. Oh shit. Oh, it replicated. Holy fuck, it replicated. Oh shit. Where I take my trades. Right? Well, this right here, this is a gap. But technically, if it was a legitimate ass, like if it your third candle is always supposed to start where the second candle ended. Like your candles always start where the previous candle ended. This is a gap. So technically, a smart trader would take a first call at a doji, which should be right here, because up here that'd be a dumbass trade. But this would technically where your candle should be, because that's where it should have started. So you would have took a call right here, that would have won, and you would have took a call right here because that's the reference point. That would have won as well. So if you have a red top, you're trading towards the top, which is a call. And if you have a blue bottom, like right here, let's delete all these damn lines. Oh shit, I think I pushed the wrong button. Ah, what the hell did I do? Ah, man. Let's delete that. Reopen. My bad about that. Hold up. BBRT. All right. Damn it, I lost my space. But anyways, yeah, if you have a blue bottom, right, then that means you trade towards the top. You trade towards the bottom. It's blue bottom. That means doji of the candle, put body of the second candle, put wick of the second candle, put. You would have won all 3 trades right there. And that's pretty much the concept. Blue bottoms, red tops. All right. Top means call, bottom means put. All right. How to identify candle patterns? Hell, man. Mark your blue bottoms in your first candles and your red tops of your first candles. See if your third replicates it. And once it replicates, look at your sheet and look if that setup even looks like a pattern. If it looks like a pattern, trade that shit on the pullbacks. If it doesn't look like a pattern, leave that shit alone. And it's that simple. Like really. That's all I fucking do. And this video should help clarify that shit. All right, so Asher, I don't know what you're talking about. So what I do is, all right, so if I see this setup right here, and I see this, and it looks kind of like a little doji, I'm like, oh shit, this next candle, if it's going up, this might actually be a candle pattern. So what am I doing? I'm marking my first one. Red top. If it replicates, oh shit, this can be a legitimate candle pattern, right? So if it pulls all the way back toward doji, I'm taking a call. And if it goes to my reference points, I'm taking a call right here and here. Win my trades. If it is a red, or if it's a blue bottom, because that was a red top, if this is a blue bottom setup right here, then that means I want my third to replicate that. And since the blue bottom and it went towards the bottom, I'm taking plus. How do I take my plus? At the doji, at the body, and at the wick. And that's where I enter my trades. Whatever your current candle is forming is, that is your third candle. The first candle is always 2 candles in front of it. Mark your blue bottoms, mark your red tops. If it replicates, look at your sheet. If it looks like a pattern, trade the fucking reference points, win the trade. And that is all this is. All right. So watch this video a million times, man, because it's just every damn asset, bro. Like everything, man. EMA is kind of like my little good luck charm too, man. Because like when I see patterns going towards it, I'll trade that shit. But I really don't even focus on that, man. Like it's whatever, bro. Like it works for some people. Like this shit really is that simple, man. Like if it replicates, I'm looking at it. If it doesn't replicate, I'm not looking at the trades. And if I see small ass candles like this, that's some sketchy ass shit, man. But I'll still trade the reference points and I'll be straight. You feel me? This replicated out in size. Third candle replicated first in size. Third candle replicated first in size. Take a put. Doji would have lost one and came up here, would have took another one. It would have won. This right here, replicated, but so I take a call right here, Doji would have lost. Call reference point would have lost. Oh shit, it's going down. How do I trade this shit? I'm just looking at previous history. Like this shit right here, that little wick. I would have took a call right here, you would have tied, barely won, or barely lost because of the broker. But even that shit, something's always matching up. It's always something. But if I'm trying to take judgment calls, I look at previous history or I look at other time frames. But that's all I do though, man. 9 times out of 10, it stays within the ranges, and that's how I trade that shit. So yeah. Is anything else that I should bring up right now? Hell, I don't know. I should think that's pretty much it. But yeah, if you need candle pattern practice, focus on that shit, man. Just mark your first, your thirds. Look at the setups if it looks like your actual pictures and whatnot. Then consider candle patterns and trade the reference points. Just remember, the reference points will always be based on the second candle, right? The candle patterns tell you what color to expect your third to be. It tells you, pretty much gives you an idea where the hell the third is gonna go, right? And once your third replicates your first candle, consider it a legitimate candle pattern. It might not even be legitimate, but just consider it is. And then trade the opposite reference points in the direction of that candle pattern. And remember, whatever time frame you're looking at, you will always trade. Your trade will always be the duration of until that candle closes at, right? So if this is a 20-minute candle and this is 13:03 right now, I know there's 17 minutes until my trade closes, right? If it replicated and it pulled back for me to enter my trade, then my trade will be 17 minutes long. You feel me? You will always trade the duration of however long it is until your candle closes. If I'm taking an hour trade and my market watch says 13 13:54. Then I know my hour candle ends in 6 minutes. So if I see a entry point to take my trade, right, then my trade will be 6 minutes long because that's when my hour candle closes. You understand? So just play with it. If you have questions, feel free to ask, and I can break shit down. But just know this, man. If I ask you guys to record yourselves trading, that way I can see how you're trading, right? And critique you guys, and you don't record yourselves, that way I can see how you're entering your trades and what type of setups you're looking at, then I'm not gonna help you, man, because I can't make you better and help you get results if you're not even following simple directions, like showing me what the hell you're doing wrong, right? If you can't take pictures of the setups that you're doing, right, the setups that you're looking at, you can't take pictures and explain to me why you're taking certain trades or even drawing your lines correctly. If you're not showing me that stuff, then how the hell can I critique and make you better? You guys got to study, figure this shit out, figure out which patterns work out the best for you guys. Trade within the reference points, and you'll be straight. You're not gonna win every single trade, but if you mark your lines correctly, let that shit replicate, and then pull back. You feel me? If you do that shit, you will be straight majority of the time. And if it doesn't replicate, then you could either do judgment call or just leave that shit alone, man. Because a lot of the times judgment calls can screw you over. But that's what I focus on, man. And I have my little EMA because it does help from time to times. If I see patterns heading towards the EMA, that shit really does help. If I see it going the opposite direction, sometimes I leave that shit alone because the EMA kind of acts like a magnet. But majority of the time, this shit really does work. That's why niggas is getting results and shit. And this is all I did. I had my EMA on my screen. This is mainly focusing on just how to identify candle patterns, but I had my EMA up, and that's all I did to flip my Marcus World account. So if it works for me, I know it can work for y'all. And this shit isn't a fluke because at the end of the day, niggas in the group is getting results. You feel me? So just let me know how this shit works for you guys. I hope this helps clarify some things, but just remember, mark your first and your thirds. If your third replicates your first, look at your candle pattern sheet and just see if it even looks like any of those pictures. You feel me? And if it does, then wait for the pullbacks and trade in the direction of the pattern. It's that simple. So yeah, it's your boy Asher Lewis. Let me know what y'all think, and I'll catch y'all later, all right? And just practice, man. For real, just practice. So y'all have a good one.